Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to the Truth Talk podcast. I'm back here with MI.
What's up, guys?
In today's episode, we're once again talking about the Balenciaga incident, as I've come across some new valuable information. Let's get right into it. In the last Balenciaga video I did for YouTube, we spoke about the new controversial Balenciaga ad campaign for their upcoming 2023 spring collection. The ad was full of disturbing imagery that I felt pointed to ritual offerings being done by the elite. We spoke about how some of the Balenciaga ad photos depicted questionable imagery. Balenciaga hired child actors and put them in strange photos with questionable props. One of the child photos displayed a child holding a teddy bear in inappropriate attire. What makes the photo appear even more strange is the look that's on the child's face, as he clearly appears uncomfortable and out of place. I also previously pointed out that if we looked at some of the imagery in the photo, things start to get stranger and stranger. We spoke about the moon crescent symbol that can be seen on the bed frame behind the child. I mentioned before how these moon symbols refer to moon magic, a form of ritual magic used by occultists. Moon magic is important when it comes to incarnation rituals and sacrifice rituals. I also pointed out that they displayed a white rabbit, which in ancient times, they saw the white rabbit as a magical creature that can travel to the underworld and bring back messages from the spirits. This is why white rabbits are always associated with magicians and magic. We also spoke about the 6 dragons placed on the wall behind the child that appear to be swarming the child. These dragons represent the beast who they are making their ritual offering to. In another photo, a part of the ad campaign, they showed a child again standing around strange imagery, while on the ground by him, they placed a tape roll that states Balenciaga on it. The thing that was odd about this tape roll was the fact that Balenciaga, for some reason, was misspelled on the tape roll. Balenciaga is usually spelled B-A-L, but for some reason, on the tape roll, they spelled it B-A-A-L, which just so happens to spell out Baal. Baal was a fallen god the pagans used to perform child offerings to. As I stated in my last video, I don't think this was done by accident. They were letting us know exactly what the company represents. In another photo, a part of the ad campaign, we found something even more disturbing. Even though I can't speak about all the details related to this photo on here due to the community guidelines, I made a Patreon exclusive video where I speak about it fully. If you're one of my Patrons and haven't seen it yet, make sure you go check it out after this video. In the photo, they showed the purse, and under that purse, Balenciaga decided to hide a document that relates to a child P-word court case from back in 2008. The court documents related to the 2008 U.S. Supreme Court ruling United States versus Williams. The case was a ruling that upheld the PROTECT Act, a 2003 federal law that criminalized advertising, promoting, presenting, or distributing child P-word. It's not hard to see where Balenciaga was going with this ad campaign. They're promoting ritual child offerings, something we already know the elite indulge in. This is why they showed the kids on top of the beds looking disturbed. We know what all this represents, alongside the rest of all this disturbing imagery. This is why they had those teddy bears in inappropriate attire. They're referring to the most despicable things known to man. This is the message Balenciaga is putting out, but this is not surprising after we find out who owns Balenciaga. The CEO of Balenciaga's parent company, François-Henri Pinault, who owns Gucci, Alexander McQueen, and Saint Laurent, alongside of a bunch of other luxury brands, has been exposed for owning an auction site that sells disturbing child paintings and mannequins. This is not at all surprising to me. We know the billionaires who run our world are into these disturbing things. I wish we could speak in detail about these photographs, but we can't due to the community guideline. This man is selling these paintings for over $50,000 to $150,000. I might have to make another Patreon video where I go into further detail about these photos on this auction site. Like I said over on Patreon, all this connects back to Crowley. Crowley spoke about using children for his ritual magic. Crowley said that he will bring in this age. All these men worship Crowley, just like those who run the music industry. Balenciaga makes clothing for ultra rich. This is who this ad campaign was designed for. Most people don't even get none of this, but those who run our world are occultists who perform ritual magic. This is why these ad campaigns are covered in occultic imagery, to appeal to occultists. This is why they have celebrities like Kim Kardashian supporting them, and Cardi B as well. Cardi B did a whole playground themed photo shoot with them that once again points back to children. This is what Balenciaga and everyone in that system represents. When I found this out about this billionaire, I wasn't at all surprised because we know that these billionaires are part of that elite club, with the Jeffrey Epsteins who go onto these private islands and do God knows what. They don't have to live by our rules. So it makes sense that all this time, this billionaire man who owns such big companies like Balenciaga, Alexander McQueen, Companies that are so highly sought after that certain people work their whole lives trying to get enough money to be able to afford their product. This man also has a website where he's selling child P-word paintings. Is the best way I can put it, because here on YouTube we can't say exactly what it is. Emma, were you at all surprised when you found this out?
I wasn't surprised at all, because I already know that a lot of these billionaires in the world, they sick. You know what I mean? They have their little private islands and they do what they want to do to these children and in a private way, and they get away with everything.
The most interesting thing about all of this to me is how Balenciaga is playing their cards now. Now they're acting like it was all the marketing company that we used. It was the people that made the ad for us. We didn't approve of any of this. That's completely utter nonsense, because I've already seen on many occasions, like I said, that Cardi B ad, it shows Cardi B in a playground. They have a girl doll on the ground, clearly indicating that this is supposed to be like a childish type of imagery. It doesn't make sense from Balenciaga to try to hide their hands and back out like they didn't do anything wrong, like they had nothing to do with it, when we know that they're the ones that had to approve the ad. I'm pretty sure the company came over to Balenciaga. Balenciaga gave them the idea they wanted, or they shopped around ideas with Balenciaga. They both came to an agreement. I don't think that these people just blindly put this out.
Yeah, you know what it is, man, is that let's just put it like this. Back in the days, they will hide things more. Nowadays, they don't care. They just letting it all out. Their whole agenda's out there. They're not hiding nothing. They can't say that they didn't approve of it, thinking that us the people, wouldn't know that nothing gets put out without the approval of the higher-ups, you know?
Exactly, and this is a billionaire company. There's no way that they would put anything out without it being approved by like 20, maybe 100 different people. Before it gets the okay to be put on, Balenciaga done seen it so many times and approved it. There's no way that they can sue this company and act like they had nothing to do with it, when I'm pretty sure they're the ones that came up with the theme, or at least had a concept for them, and they went with it. The fact that this billionaire owns all these companies, owns Gucci, owns Saint Laurent, I wonder, are people going to boycott these companies as well? Because I've been seeing that people are now boycotting because this Balenciaga incident is gone viral on TikTok, and so many people are just losing it over it. They're finally seeing that, wow, these people here are doing something this disgusting right in the open, right in our faces, and no one is doing nothing about it. You understand? So people are finally standing up for it. But I think that you can't just start there. We have to look at the whole system as a whole, because this is not just one billionaire that's into this. We know that they're all into it. That's what we saw with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey got caught for doing something that he was doing for years, that multiple people had already come out, accused him of, made several reports on him. All of this still didn't stop him from doing what he did. And so things didn't become to the point where they couldn't ignore it anymore. That's when they went after Epstein. And then you saw what happened in that situation. But with this Balenciaga situation, it'll be interesting to see where this is going to go. Yes, Balenciaga is a very popular brand, but is it going to remain popular after people know what it's associated with? All we see is these rappers and celebrities wearing the brand. So in my opinion, their value comes from the celebrity status. You understand? Are the celebrities going to stop wearing it? Because from what I'm seeing, yes, Kim Kardashian said that she was going to consider dropping the brand. She was going to consider not working with the brand no more. But the thing is that we know that Kim Kardashian doesn't really care. She doesn't really care about what the ad was showing. She doesn't care about what it represents. What she cares is about her public image. Now she's associated with a company that's being accused of putting inappropriate child images into their ad. So of course she's going to come out and say a few things, but I don't think that she's actually going to separate from the brand. We saw that a few years ago. There was that whole controversy with Gucci. The whole situation went viral, and we saw so many people destroying their Gucci products and all that. But a few years later, Gucci's right back like nothing ever happened to them. And I don't think anything even happened to them during that time. Like, they might have had the public backlash, but it wasn't like it's the end of Gucci.
I'm going to tell you right now, people ain't going to stop wearing. They're not going to stop rocking Balenciaga. They're not going to stop rocking Gucci. Yeah, a couple of people are burning them, but I know people that got Balenciaga that they ain't burning nothing. So all of this stuff is just for show. People, they just want to get clout. They just trying to get their name out. Nobody's going to stop wearing it. Celebrities are going to continue to push it, and it's going to remain the same. Nothing's going to happen to the dude, the owner of Gucci. This is the thing. Nothing ever happens to the people at the top. They're putting it out there like we just said a little while ago. They letting it be known for what they stand for. The people are still going to support them. They're going to keep making them richer and richer instead of everybody banning them at the same time. We shut that down right there. It's not going to happen. They're going to continue to support them, and it's never going to stop. Like I said, it's already out there. They putting it in our face. What they stand for. They pushing certain agendas on our kids. it ain't gonna stop.
That's 100%. But like, if we look at all this imagery, it's hard for people to deny. I see exactly what's happening. When I see this, when I connected it all, it appears that they're representing child offerings to the fallen god Baal. That's what it looked like to me. That's what the theme of this was. If we go back to the pagan times, this is a practice that they participated in yearly. They made these offerings to their gods because they thought that it would give them blessings. It was a part of their system. Now, a person like Crowley, who based his teachings on worshiping these fallen gods and making offerings and doing rituals for these fallen gods, he's the one that's truly influenced these billionaires. He's the one that's truly influenced these rappers, these rock stars, these pop stars, these actors. He is the one that they look up to because he preach something that most people want. It's the same thing that Lucifer preached, which is self-worship, only care about yourself and not care about others. This is literally what Crowley represented. Crowley represented being your own God. And it's the same thing that Lucifer represented. Crowley thought for some reason that these children gave him special magic. And it's the same thing that we see time and time again. When we talked about the Kid Willie situation over there in Wales, it was reported that these guys were using kids for ritual offerings for over 20 years. And they would bring these kids to ritual parties where these kids were literally being used for magic. When we think about this ad right here, this is exactly what they're showing us. And then when we see that the fact that this man has an auction site where he's selling these very inappropriate paintings, very disturbing paintings of children, and then connect this with the Balenciaga, where they're showing us children in these disturbing situations with this disturbing imagery. It all connects back to one thing. This is what high society indulges in.
They're gonna keep using these celebrities that our people look at them as idols and they look up to them to keep promoting this, man. And it sucks because I would love to see people just like the same way they try to ban Kanye West for talking about whatever he spoke about. The same thing should happen to Balenciaga, YSL, anything else that that man owns or he's a part of. They all do the same thing. They all have the same plan.
100%. It's becoming ingrained in our culture to look away from things like this because people are quick to say that things are a conspiracy before they even truly look into them. You know, in this situation, it's hard to deny.
You gotta be dumb to say that this is a conspiracy.
It's not even dumb. You have to be blind. You know, that's truly what it is. You have to not want to even see the truth because at the end of the day, they showed everything to us. They had no reason why to use a child for this ad. They're advertising adult clothing. This isn't a child ad campaign. It isn't for their child line of clothing. It's for their adult line of clothing. But the thing is, like I said already, they're making these ads for the occultists who wear their brands. And I'm pretty sure they probably have a more hidden message behind these ads with children. Who knows what they're truly trying to say to the people that are actually consuming their products? Because I have never bought anything from Balenciaga, and I'm never going to buy nothing from Balenciaga because I think spending that much money on clothing is kind of pointless, you know? The people that do buy their clothing are the same people that we see on our TV, the same people that we hear in our songs. And those are the ones that are already into Aleister Crowley. Those are the ones that are already into the occult world. So when they see an ad like this, they know exactly what it means. They don't have to decode it. They know what it represents because these are symbols that they use to communicate within each other.
Come on, Balenciaga gives these dudes $100,000 worth of clothes for free just so they could promote it so we can go and buy it.
Exactly. It's the method of manipulation. We praise the company, but in reality, we're just worshiping the idols that the company is using to get to us. This is how the system works, though. They literally want to normalize this to the world. They want the world to look at this and feel like it's normal. Like children being used in this manner is normal. The more that we look into it, the more disturbing it gets. And this man, we need to make sure that he gets all the heat. Yeah, Balenciaga, the name, that's great, but he owns Balenciaga. He owns Gucci. He owns all these other companies that stand for the same exact thing. So we need to make sure that he's the one that's plastered all over the place. He's the one that's boycotted. He's the one that people don't want to give business to. This is what needs to be done if we want change. Because if we continue to just give them our money, they're never going to learn and they're going to continue to do exactly what they're doing now, using us and destroying us while we get the short end of the stick every single time. Especially when our children are involved, we have to protect our children at all costs. I think about my son in situations like this. I think about, your kids. It's easy to see that we live in a dangerous world when there's people like this billionaire and there's people like Aleister Crowley who walk around this world using our children for rituals. There's a reason the world is the way it is, and so much evil happens. It's because these men are the ones that are in charge. You have to look at all the imagery, and you can clearly see what they're telling us. You see the part where the dragons, you see how they have 6 dragons swarming the child? When I saw that, I saw instantly what it was. That's the beast. That's the representation of the beast, and there's 6 of them. It was one of you guys in the comment section that actually brought that up. There's 6 dragons that represent the beast that are looking at the child like if they're going to swarm at him. That is literally the imagery that they're putting out. While he's holding this teddy bear, while they have the moon magic symbols and the white rabbit, all this occultic imagery that if you don't study the occult, you will never see. It would just look like a bunch of random objects.
That's when being blind comes into play. You know, we don't notice that. We don't notice what's right in your face unless you really sit there and pay attention. It's in your movies, it's in your videos, it's in your clothing, it's in your commercials. It's literally everywhere. You just have to pay attention.
Just think. Why would they put these random objects here if they have no purpose? They all have a purpose. It's the reason.
It's always a purpose. There's always an agenda to every little thing that they do. They don't make mistakes.
I actually read that Kanye West tweeted that basically to forgive Balenciaga, that Balenciaga didn't do nothing wrong, that it was a weird tweet there, honestly, or an Instagram post. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it clearly showed Kanye showing support for Balenciaga, which, again, like I've said to you guys 100 times, I do not buy Kanye West at all. I do think that Kanye West is against the industry right now, but it's for his personal gain. I don't think he's against the agenda. I still think he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. I still think he's manipulating his people and using them to get what he wants. I do not think he's on the side of God. So I do not think Kanye West is truly against the agenda. I honestly think that he's still serving the agenda and that's his purpose. But back to his Balenciaga incident, it's clear what it is. It's clear that they're using our children for ritual practices, and we have to do something to change it. We have to show them that we know the truth and we're no longer going to blindly follow them. Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
I just wanted to give a special shout out to the Truth Movement members. I truly appreciate every single one of you. If you'd like to further support the channel, join the Truth Movement, or you can join me on Patreon where I drop exclusive videos monthly. The link would be in the description. Another way you can further support the channel is by checking out the Truthfist store and seeing if you find anything you like. Every purchase you make helps with the funding of Truth Records. The link to the Truthfist store is also in the description. Also, please leave a comment on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. If you like this video, please leave a like as it helps other people find these videos. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram and follow me there. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.